Happy Friday and welcome to another edition of Husker Chat Live. Sean Callahan here. We've had a Husker Chat Live every day this week as we're pleased to have another one this week. Once again, brought to you by Sandhills Global, powered by ABM. If you have equipment to sell it at auctiontime.com. But I'm pleased to bring in Nebraska's 2022 high school quarterback recruit, Richard Torres out of San Antonio, Texas. Richard's on campus now. Richard, appreciate you taking some time, and it's great to have you on Husker Chat Live.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Well, yeah, let's talk about your path to Nebraska. Obviously, you came here in June, went on that official visit. I remember you went right down to Kansas State at right around the same time. You picked Nebraska shortly after. What was it about Nebraska then that really kind of made you feel like playing for Coach Frost was really the right fit?
Really, so Adrian Martinez was my host, and so he kind of just showed me around town, showed me a lot of good things about the place, and talked about it real well. And he introduced me to a lot of the team, and then Coach Frost was just an unbelievable guy, and we just developed a great relationship. And I mean, when I visited the place, I loved it here, and I loved the downtown Haymarket, and it was really beautiful and nice.
What do you think you bring to the table when you kind of look at what's on the roster right now at Nebraska? And there's a lot of new quarterbacks around. What is your skill set? What are your real strengths, Richard, as a quarterback?
For me, coming in, I think my arm strength is really a big factor into coming in, and that's what I bring to the table. Another thing, probably just my way to evade rushes, maybe leakage to the line, so I can make some time, create some time, and throw a good pass downfield.
You played football in San Antonio. Texas is obviously a great high school football state.
Right.
What are the challenges, though, in San Antonio? Sometimes prospects in San Antonio maybe don't get the notoriety as you would in Houston or Dallas or other parts of the state. Did you feel like at times you were under the radar, and how did teams really kind of start to find you as a recruit?
For me, my recruitment picked up real late. I wouldn't say I flew. I mean, yeah, I flew under the radar, and San Antonio is just it's under recruited really. There's a lot of good talent, great talent there, and I just hope it changes in the near future, which really looks like it. It's headed on the uptrend, and I'm looking forward to everybody. I'm just supportive of everybody from there.
Yeah, there's another pretty famous quarterback from Nebraska that was from San Antonio, Tommy Armstrong's from Sabilo. How well do you know Tommy? If I remember reading right, you guys talked a little bit throughout the process. What were your conversations like with Tommy Armstrong?
So I want to say, so my guy Chris, he really was the one that would hook it up. He'll keep me in contact with all these coaches, and so he gave me Tommy's number. He helped Tommy get here and stuff. And Tommy, me and him talked like before me Nebraska offered me. It was like probably the night that same night we were talking, and he was just like, "Man, like Nebraska's a great place. You'll love it here. It's just the atmosphere is different. Fan base is they're extremely loyal to their team." And so when I talked to him, it was just like he kind of sold it for me too. And yeah, so like as I committed and through that process, he kind of would just like mentor me into like throughout the season, my high school season, and he just he really mentored me and helped me out a lot. And so coming here, we still chat, we still talk it up. He helps me out with just the basic stuff, and so yeah.
We're talking here with Nebraska quarterback recruit Richard Torres on Husker Chat Live, brought to you by Sandhills Global. Richard, you enrolled early. What's it been like getting into Lincoln? Leaving high school. Were you a basketball player? Obviously, we'll get into your injury. You probably wouldn't have been able to do any winter sports regardless, but was it hard to kind of leave home and move to Lincoln, Nebraska in January?
Honestly, like the months leading up, I was really like, oh, it's coming, it's not that far, it's around the corner, and I was a little nervous, but once I got here, I adjusted well. I moved in, I settled in pretty good, and I was just, it wasn't as bad as I thought, I didn't miss home too much. Of course, I still want to go back home and visit, all my family and my friends, but I feel like I'm in a good space right now, and I'm just ready to work.
Yeah, I don't want to. We went out and watched you play, Brian Munson and Greg Peterson from HuskerOnline, and
Right.
we were like bad luck charm because that was the game that you got hurt this year. What happened this year, and how tough of a setback was that? Where are you at right now in your overall rehab, and what have you been able to do so far at Nebraska?
Um, it was my injury was pretty tough. So I want to say it was like the fourth game in. It was against a pretty good school. They were a pretty big team, and um, when I went down, it was just like, it just took the life out of all of us and took the life out of me. And I was just like so like down about it. But I try to encourage the team, be there for them. I made every practice for them and just try to, really help the backup quarterback with, just the plays and the film and stuff like that. So it was kind of tough. Really.
Well, was it a ACL then, Richard?
Yeah, it was ACL and partial meniscus.
And so far at Nebraska, have you been able to do some running and lifting, or I mean, what have you been able to do in this first month on campus?
So I got on campus. So it's been about like 3.5 months since my surgery, probably almost 4. I mean, running, I've been lifting, and I've been rehabbing every day. So I'm really looking forward to it all. I'm started throwing, and yeah, so it's going pretty good.
What's your favorite part of college life so far? Have you had any? I mean, has it been fun just being out here on your own?
Yeah, it's just my favorite part is probably just the workouts. Like I love to work. I love to, be there every day with the guys, and then after just have like the time to myself. If everyone just come back to my dorm, just be to myself. I could really do that, and so I love it so far.
You guys have a new offensive coordinator, Mark Whipple, 4 new offensive coaches total on the staff. How much have you been able to talk to Mark Whipple? What is your sense as far as what this offense is going to look under a new offensive coordinator?
Mark Whipple, we've chatted a couple of times. We haven't really like sat down and like, well, one time we have, but not really too much because he's been out recruiting and stuff like that. But he's really smart. He knows his stuff, and I really trust in him too. And yeah.
When there was that change, that's obviously a tough moment for a lot of guys. Did you talk to Coach Frost at that time and kind of get an idea of what was happening? And did Coach Frost obviously assure you that, hey, you're very much still a part of our plans at Nebraska?
Yeah, so Frost, I mean, he recruited me, and we have a great relationship. So I wasn't really too worried about the firings and the coach staff. And so, yeah, it was smooth. He really reassured me about it all, and especially with my leg too, he reassured me about that too.
What's that say about Nebraska? I mean, obviously, they stuck with you with the injury, and we're very open with you about some of the changes that were made.
Um, it means a lot, really. Like I appreciated it all, and I was just like really looking forward to it. It just made me want to come here even faster and just adjust, to it all.
Are you a guy in general that kind of likes to lay low? I know as a recruit, we only maybe talked to you once or twice over the entire process. Are you a guy that kind of doesn't really want that spotlight and likes to kind of just put your head down and go to work?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I'm not really too much in the media. I'm here. I mean, I'm in the media to support, around and stuff like that, but not really too much up in the media. I'm just ready to work at all. I mean, I'm gonna let my work ethic and my play on the field just do my talking.
You got your people tell me, Brian Munson went and watched your game with Greg, and Brian said right away, your arm talent is live. I mean, how would you describe your arm strength and kind of what really jumps out about the way you throw the football?
So talking to my coach, my high school coach, he was the one that really like would just put it in my head, like, your arm is just completely different. So he would say like when I would release the ball, like you don't really hear like a flick in the ball, or like a release whenever, in most quarterbacks. So he said he hears that in mind, my quick release, and then just my arm straight to be able to get it like anywhere on the field.
Well, hey, Richard, we've got a lot of questions here. I was kind of letting some questions pile up here in the chat. Let's get to some of these questions now as we're joined by Richard Torres, Nebraska's freshman quarterback out of San Antonio, Texas on Husker Chat Live, brought to you by Sandhills Global. First question is from Patrick. Patrick wants to know, did studying and learning about Mark Whipple's offense calm any of your nerves about the offensive offseason changes? Does his offense fit your game maybe even better?
His offense is really complex. It's really diverse. It's a lot to learn, really. I'm learning it all right now, and it's kind of tough, but I'm learning it. I'm adjusting to it pretty well.
Well, I mean, when you played high school football in Texas, I mean, how high level was the football you played in terms of just the terminology and what you had to study? I mean, obviously Texas is one of the best states in the country. What was your program like that you came out of?
So my program was, well, I have been like, so they installed the playbook back when I was like in middle school. So like I knew that playbook from middle school to, I graduated obviously. And so it was just like it was in the back of my head and I just knew it real well. It was a run heavy offense, but my head coach had to adjust to a quarterback that could actually throw and, move around. So kind of opened it up, threw out some empty sets and stuff like that. So
Got a question and a comment here from Trey Loper. First of all, says, welcome. Excited to have you join the Huskers, Richard. But here's his question. Wants to know, what are your thoughts on the receivers? I mean, just getting a chance to see the transfers you guys have added, Isaiah, obviously, and Trey Palmer. And then, there's Victor Jones,
yeah.
Oldest Crawford's coming. And then some pretty good guys on this roster right now, obviously, and Omar Manning, Alante Brown, Xavier Betts. Just give us an idea of what you've seen from these receivers.
They're electrifying. They're really cool people. They're easy to talk to, and I think Mickey Joseph has done a really good job in recruiting them and getting them here.
Got a question here from Jim. Wants to know, what is your favorite part of college thus far, outside of football?
Probably just the freedom, really. Like I didn't have my parents really crawling on my butt, telling me to get home or do this or do that. It's kind of just, I do it for myself, and I'm really just all about myself right now.
So if we're going to see you outside of Memorial Stadium or the dorms, where are we going to see Richard Torres at? Is there some spots that you've kind of taken up in town that you like to check in and out? Or
You'll catch me at this burger joint downtown.
Honest Abe's?
It's I forgot the name. Potbellies. I want to say
Oh,
Potbellies.
Potbellies, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good place.
Lead Bellies.
Yeah, Lead Bellies. That's the place. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Good spot.
Yeah.
What kind of burger are you getting at Lead Bellies?
Probably a bacon burger. Everything on it. I'm not a picky guy.
Nothing too
Some
crazy.
fries.
Yeah, I mean, they got some like crazy like cinnamon roll chili burgers. And
Oh wow, I have not looked at the menu then.
you a big eater normally? I mean, you got a lot of, how much you weighing right now? You're what, 6'6", what?
Like 210.
210. So do you want to get like 225-ish, or how much bigger do you want to get?
I want to throw on a bunch of like just more muscle. I think I've have a pretty good amount of body fat on, so muscle is just looking forward to. So like about 10 pounds, 15 pounds of muscle.
Got a question here from Laura. Wants to know, I'm sure it was hard when Coach Verduzco left. What have you learned so far about Coach Whipple?
Yeah, it was pretty tough that Verdu left. But it is what it is. We just got to move on from that. And Whipple, he's a pretty good guy. I haven't really gotten too much contact with him, but from what I've talked to him about, he's pretty chill.
Got a question here from Cody. He said, Richard, welcome to Nebraska. Had an interesting comment. I remember it was from Coach Frost saying that you reminded him a lot of Justin Herbert in the recruiting process. What were your thoughts on that?
I just want to say thank you for the welcome. And it really opened my eyes when he told me, he compared me to Justin. Obviously watching Justin with the Chargers and stuff, it's pretty phenomenal and the things he could do there. So when he compared me, it was just like, wow, it was an eye opener.
Got a question here from Cody. Wants to know, Richard, what are your personal expectations for this season? Do you feel like you have a shot in this race or to be a backup, or do you maybe hope to redshirt and take advantage of that 4-game rule this year?
For me right now, it's just recover from my ACL injury, obviously. Hopefully play this spring, get in some spring practices. And then for around season, maybe roster probably. I want to definitely be on the roster, travel team, just experience the big games in the Big Ten. We play phenomenal competition. And so I just, I would love at least to be there.
You've got Casey Thompson now here, Chuba Purdy, and obviously Heinrich Harburg has been here, and Logan Smothers. I mean, when you're in that quarterback room and when you're around those guys, I mean, do you just feel that competition? I mean, I can't imagine, because not all five guys, you guys are all here to play. I mean,
Right.
what's that competition like when you're together right now?
Well, first of all, it's a brotherhood. I mean, we're all close. We're all, we're brothers. We know we do things together. It's really, really fun with them. But, at the end of the day, we do compete. When we're on that field, it's just like we step in between those lines. It's competition. And so I feel the competition, but I'm also learning off of them because, I just got here and stuff. So it's a lot for me to learn, but I mean, they're making it pretty easy. I appreciate that from them.
Got a question here from Jaden. Wants to know, do you have any game day superstitions? Is there anything like you like to eat or listen to, or the certain socks you wear? I mean, is there something that you do that you kind of have stuck with through your football career?
So in high school, it started in basketball season, like traveling to like different schools to play a game and stuff. I'd always feel like after a long school day, I'd feel like icky. So like I would just like take a shower, take a cold shower, take a hot shower, and just like so I feel fresh when I get in the game. And so that's kind of like my superstition in a way.
So you like this before a game, you get a shower in just to kind of.
Yeah, yeah, just to feel some fresh. You know what I
Nothing
mean?
wrong with that.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question here. It's from DR. Welcome to Nebraska. In the little time that you've been around him, how would you describe Mark Whipple's coaching/teaching style, and how do you see yourself fitting into the system? I know we've kind of hit on some of that, but is there anything more you want to add to that?
Like I said, he's a really cool guy. He's really understanding. He makes it really easy for me to understand the offense, and I haven't really got like in too much sit down meetings with him, just like once or twice. But he's been real busy in recruiting. But I know when he gets back, we're gonna hit it off, and we're just gonna hit it running.
Yeah, the recruiting dead period kind of ends this weekend, so the coaches will be back in town Friday, Saturday, and they'll be here for good. I mean, are you, as a team, do you guys expect a lot to change on Monday, knowing that all the 10 coaches are going to be back in town for the foreseeable future?
Well, obviously it'll change some of the schedule, but for the most part, the team, we've all been hitting the weights and just doing the things we're supposed to. Like after weights, we'll go straight to the field and just go over the scripts and the installs and so we're not too like just sitting on our butts around, we're gonna do it ourselves and then when the coaches get here, probably add some things on.
All right, got a question here from Brett. Wants to know, who are you rooming with, and welcome to Nebraska.
Thank you. And I'm rooming with Ernest Hoffman, Michael Booker. Ernest is a linebacker, middle backer. He just got here. He's early enrolled too. Michael Booker is a freshman from this past fall. And my roommate is Victor Jones, the receiver out of Florida.
Yeah, there's a good group of at least 6 of you high school guys that enrolled early. Is that right? About 5 or 6?
Yeah, yeah, like 5 or 6.
And then obviously 17 total newcomers. I mean, when you have like 17 new faces that have been added, I mean, do you guys kind of stay together in a group or, hang out a lot with the new guys?
I haven't really seen them too much, but like the ones that are here, yeah, we're real close, we're real tight, and we just kind of, try to support each other because it's a big move from wherever we came from. Obviously, maybe not Ernest because he just came from like down the road or something, but maybe for like Vic and me and Jaden, big moves for us.
So they got you guys in like one of those like 4-person suite dorms now?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are a lot nicer than like the old school dorms. I'll tell you that much. Those went around when I was at school. Do you like a pretty nice setup?
Yeah, it's pretty nice setup. I'm real comfortable with it too. Yeah.
All right. What do you think of the training table? How's the that's something a lot of the new guys have talked about, just all the different options you get. And I mean, what's really jumped out to you about eating at the training table every day?
I mean, it's just a blessing, really, just to be able to, eat. Not a lot of kids get to eat and stuff, but like just showing up to the training table, there's so much food there, so many like varieties of food, and they make sure to get everything you need is there, and so I really appreciate that, and I really take advantage of it.
What's your go-to thing now? Now that you've been here for a few weeks, is there something like every day you try to get out that training table?
So, I mean, every day I get a salad because, they always enforce, keep greens on your plate, keep the color on your plate. So it's a salad and then whatever good protein they have, like carne asada or some like ribs or something, and then some pineapples. I always get a pineapple in a cup and just bring it back. So I just want to snack on it. And yeah, those are just the main things for me.
We got two more food questions here from this kind of similar topic.
Yeah.
Dylan had two questions about runza. Do you even know what a runza is? And it seems like every chat we've had, Nebraska fans want to know, have you tried a runza?
I have not tried to run so.
There's one in the Union, right?
I'm not sure what it is. Could you tell me?
It's a it's like a piece of bread stuffed with hamburger and cabbage, but it's a Nebraska
Oh,
thing. So I always am like, I hesitate to even ask the question because I'm like, all right, I know Richard Torres has been here 3 weeks and he's not had a run.
no, I have not had a run some, but I mean, I would be more than glad to try it.
Like, hey, growing up in San Antonio, I've been down there a ton for Alamo Bowls and then the All American Bowl too.
Right,
Did you
right.
spend a lot of time on the Riverwalk? Did you spend time ever going to like an Alamo Bowl, or did you spend time going to even the All American game growing up as a kid down there?
So what's crazy is I've never been to like an Alamo Bowl or the All American game, but I do quite often go to the Riverwalk, and just hang out downtown is really pretty.
So yeah, I didn't know how like locals perceived the Riverwalk, if it was just kind of a tourist trap for people that are in town and conventions, or if the locals actually frequented the Riverwalk. So that was like a place that guys went.
Yeah, so like if you just want to hang out or like a night out, it's really the place to go. Or like Christmas is, they always have the lights up and it looks really nice. Or Fiesta is just like pretty crazy down there. So
Do you know anyone that's ever fallen in the Riverwalk?
I've had a few friends just be like, "Oh, imagine if I just jump in real quick." I'd be like, "Bro,
The
no."
water, man. Yeah. I've been there in January where they drain the Riverwalk and
Oh,
they
I
do like a cleaning of it. And it used to be during the week of the All American Bowl. And that's kind of bizarre when they completely drain it and they refill it back up to put like clean water in.
I did not even know they did that. That's wild.
But yeah, no, I've been to San Antonio a lot. I was just curious on the Riverwalk. Okay, let's get to
Yeah.
some more questions here. We're talking with Richard Torres on Husker Chat Live, brought to you by Sandhills Global. Let's see, moving through the questions here so we don't ask any repeats. Kind of a tough question, but did you have any idea, Richard, that Nebraska was going to take a transfer? Obviously, the circumstance with Adrian Martinez really changed things when he went into the portal. When did you kind of know that Nebraska would pursue a transfer portal quarterback?
I really didn't know, nor like did I really was bothered by it. I know I could learn a lot off, anybody that were to transfer in. And so, Casey Thompson coming from Texas is just like, he's playing on a big stage for a big coach and, a complex offense. So, and he knows his real stuff. So, learning from him and Chuba is just like, it's, I'm excited for it, really.
Being down in San Antonio, you're not that far from Austin, Texas. Did you know who Casey Thompson was? I mean, obviously your local television highlights probably covered Texas Longhorn football quite a bit. Was he on your radar at all? Casey Thompson?
So growing up in San Antonio, I mean, and my family was just a big Longhorns fan, and so this past season, yeah, I would watch the games and Casey Thompson. So, yeah, I kind of knew who he was, So when he announced that he was coming here, I was like, oh wow, like what? That's kind of crazy, you know what I mean? So,
So you grew
yeah,
up doing this?
yeah, yeah,
Don't tell too many people that in Nebraska. No, just giving you a hard time.
yeah.
You,
I'm
you
sure.
went to some games in Austin as a kid?
Yeah, I went to one game, and it was when they played Baylor back in like 2014. It was like an amazing game, really. So I had fun.
No, Austin's a great town. I mean, Nebraska was in the Big 12 for many, many years. So
Right.
it's a great campus, great stadium to go to. All right, let's go here. Tim just says this kid's going to be awesome. Give him a chance. Let's see.
Appreciate it.
David wants to say good luck to Richard. I am rooting for you. That's from David Tays.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Um, Let's see, Brett. Is there a way that you've started to try to learn all the new names of your teammates? Is it kind of hard to like get names
That
down?
yes, it's kind of tough, but I'm learning. I'm really trying to.
You go on like Huskers.com and just study the roster,
I have not, but I mean that's a good idea to do now.
start breaking it down. I mean, that's what we have to do in the media too sometimes.
Yeah.
Let's see, a question about your injury we've already asked. Okay, here's one for you. Samuel wants to know, who is your favorite NFL quarterback?
Probably it's tough. I have a variety. I can go from like Tom Brady to like Patrick Mahomes to Justin Herbert. If I had to say a favorite, it'd be probably Patrick Mahomes. You know, we got the same number. He's from Texas. He went to Texas Tech. I'm a fan of the Big 12. So, um, yeah, he went to Tech. So probably Patrick Mahomes.
So to claim yourself as a true Mahomes fan, did you actually watch Mahomes at Texas Tech?
I heard about it, and I think I didn't watch him at Texas Tech, but once he got to the league, I kind of knew who he was.
It's just crazy to think that him and Baker Mayfield were on the same team, and they basically had to tell Baker Mayfield that, he was not going to be the guy, and Mahomes was going to be the guy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And so another thing is like, so when I would wear 15 back at home, I would get like a lot of things like, oh, you remind us of Patrick Mahomes, and so my mom was like, that's why she likes Patrick Mahomes too. So it was pretty cool.
You're only 3 hours from Kansas City, so if you ever want to get down and see a Chiefs game on a bye week or something, you got a chance to go watch Mahomes in person now.
Yeah, I mean, that don't sound like a bad idea, really. One of my teammates is actually going to the game tomorrow. Or when do they play, tomorrow or Sunday?
2:00. So who's going to the game?
I forgot his name. See, like I'm not good with names, but I just know they're going to the game. So I was like, dang, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that should be Joe Burrow versus Mahomes. I'd pay some money to watch that game.
Yeah, pretty good game.
All right, we got time for a couple more questions here. Trey Loper wants to know, what are your thoughts of your strength coach, Zach Duvall?
Great. Just it's pretty wild, and he gets in your face and he lets you know, like what is real. And so I haven't really like talked to him too much. I'm really with a bunch of other guys in there. So Duvall's around there though. He's always watching.
Let's see. Got another question from Brett. Wants to know, how far can you throw a football? Have you ever just stepped back with no wind and just slinged it as far as you can go?
I swinged it 65.
65. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
70 is about as far as you'll see a high school guy go. I haven't seen too many high school guys. So 65, 70, that's pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Is there some risk when you throw it that far? You don't want to like throw your arm out or anything?
So the thing is, like, when I work out and stuff, my arm doesn't get fatigued. It's kind of weird. Like, I've thrown like so many balls, and my coaches are like, "Is your arm okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, my arm is good. Like, I could keep going." And so that's like kind of a thing that's always been with me. And so it's I don't know, it's something in me.
All right. Got a question from Adam. Wants to know, what is your greatest strength as a quarterback and what is your weakness that you really want to improve on?
So my strength would obviously be just my natural talent, the way to move. I get it from basketball, the way I can move and evade, rushers, throw the ball. I could really throw it. And yeah, so one of my weaknesses would probably just be learning the game overall, learning a defense, and then just applying the offense to it. And so those are things I'm just on the come up for.
So when you were a basketball player, were you kind of an athlete, a slasher that, got some dunks, or were you more of a shooter? I mean, what kind of basketball player were you?
I was more like the facilitator. I could go set a pick, I could roll, I could shoot it, I could handle it sometimes, and then yeah, I could throw it down.
So you played basketball, I guess, as a junior. Was that your last year you played?
Yeah. Yep, that was.
Did you play any other sports like baseball or track or anything else?
No, it was just football and basketball.
Like in Texas, because were you a 5 or 6A or 4A?
I was a 5A, 5A.
Yeah, at a 5A school, just to play two sports, it's got to be really hard. I mean, there's so many kids in those schools. How hard is it to be a 2-sport, even 3-sport athlete in Texas?
It's pretty tough, for a lot of schools, really, and you just got to compete and go out there. It really just takes like you to just be focused, invested in the team, and you make the team.
All right, got a question on your number. A lot of fans want to know, any idea what number you're going to wear? Is there one that you'd like to wear?
Probably 15. 15 is what I want to go with. I know that it's taken on the offense this year, so I would, but 15 is my number. Is what
You
I
know, there
want
was
to
a
go
pretty
with.
good Nebraska quarterback that wore number 15, right?
Yeah,
Tommy Frazier.
right.
So you got some big shoes to put on that number 15.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Let's see. Moving down. What's your favorite route to throw? This is from Michael.
Probably the fade ball or a dig, 10 and in.
Let's see. Two more questions here we'll get to with Richard Torres as we wrap up Husker Chat Live. Could you play another position? Jose Martinez was curious. If you didn't play quarterback, are you athletic enough to play like another position? I mean, how well do you run? What's your vertical? At 6'6", 210, I mean, you're a pretty good sized guy.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to play another position, it'd probably be tight end or receiver. I mean, I think blocking is fun. I wish if I were to play receiver, that would be one of my strengths because I like to block. It's fun and it's little details, you know what I mean? Like to add to the run game and stuff. So probably tight end or receiver. I definitely have to bulk up and get a little faster, but yeah.
What is your 40 then?
My 40 when I was healthy was like a 4.7, 4.8.
And then you ever done a vertical before?
Vertical was like 32.
32. All right. Yeah, some good numbers. Okay. And let's see how tall you are. You are, this is more of a comment, I guess. He says, with how tall you are, and as you see the field, is your field vision good? I mean, just being taller, does it help your field vision to see over linemen?
Yes. I mean, obviously, like Nebraska has some pretty big O line. And so I definitely had to see through windows over those or through those guys. But for the most part, it's really helpful.
And then this is a random question from Colin. Are you familiar with the San Antonio Outlaws that were on the show Friday Night Tykes?
Yes. Yeah. I knew I had a couple of buddies that played for that team and played against that team. And so, yeah, I'm pretty familiar with them.
Okay. And then the final question from Cole wants to know, have you gotten a playbook yet?
Yes, I have. They've issued out a bunch of installs to everybody. And so, yeah, I've been studying and I have my iPad and everything's on there. So,
well, hey, Richard, we appreciate you taking some time on a Friday afternoon for Husker Chat Live. It's been great to catch up with you. I know a lot of Husker fans are excited to see you on campus here and get to work.
yes, sir. Thank you. I'm really excited. Thank you for having me.
Well, that wraps it up here for this edition of Husker Chat Live. Once again, brought to you by Sandhills Global and powered by ABM. If you have equipment to sell it at auctiontime.com. For HuskerOnline.com,